As you've probably heard by now, Canada's Democratic Reform Minister, Monsef, was born in Iran, not Afghanistan. After being praised as the ultimate refugee success story, Canada's first cabinet minister from Afghanistan, we learned last week that the story that she had presented to the public all along was not accurate. Monsef claims that she never knew the true story about where she was born and where she spent the first decade of her life. It wasn't until a media investigation and questions from a journalist that she finally asked her mother and was told the truth. But the journalist, Bob Fife from the Globe and Mail, was acting on a tip. So somebody else knew the truth, and they reached out to members of the national media to encourage a media probe. Once that truth was revealed, other political figures in Monsef's hometown of Peterborough, Ontario, also came forward to reveal that they also had heard similar stories about Monsef's story not being true. So the question then becomes, if there were all these rumors spinning around in Peterborough about Monsef's life story, and if anonymous tipsters were encouraging journalists to investigate her story, how is it that Monsef herself was the last to know? Well, I guess it's plausible that her version of the events are completely accurate and that she didn't know the truth until last week. But common sense would tell us that Monsef had likely heard some of these rumors in the past. So why hadn't she asked her mother about it sooner? Well, immigration lawyers are now coming forward to suggest that Monsef may have committed a crime, using false information on her refugee and citizenship application. The penalty could be as serious as citizenship revocation and deportation from Canada. We're no longer just talking about kicking her out of caucus or cabinet for this scandal. We're talking about actually kicking her out of the country. Canada has stripped citizenship away from hundreds of people for this very reason. Lying to citizenship officials makes a person inadmissible to Canada. And that's a long-standing policy that predates the Harper government. In fact, during the last election campaign, Justin Trudeau himself praised this practice.
Revocation of citizenship can and should happen in situations of becoming a Canadian citizen on false pretenses. Indeed, when people have lied as on their applications, those applications get rescinded even years later.
In Monsef's case, it's possible that either she or her mother hid the truth while applying for Canadian citizenship. And if that's the case, then Monsef became a citizen under false pretenses. 1 year ago, Justin Trudeau said that we should throw the book at people who lie on their citizenship application. He's yet to say whether he thinks we should throw the book at Monsef and her mother. In the meantime, though, Trudeau's spin doctors are taking a different approach to managing this crisis. They're suggesting that raising questions about Monsef's birth is akin to racism. Trudeau's top aide, Gerald Butts, joined the far-left commenters from the blog Vice and the Toronto Star in comparing Monsef's controversy with the birther movement, which was a conspiracy that questioned the birthplace of Barack Obama. Butts scolded the Globe and Mail on Twitter for raising doubts about Monsef's story and accused them of endorsing a homegrown Canadian birther movement. You know, calling this a birther movement implies racism as a motive. But there's nothing racist about demanding honesty and transparency from our politicians. There's nothing racist about upholding our laws and applying them equally to all people. In the case of Monsef, it isn't even a conspiracy. We know that she was born in Iran, and it's therefore very likely that her application for citizenship contained false information. We know that submitting an application with false information can be a crime. The only question that remains is whether Trudeau's cabinet minister and her family are above the law.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.